Hello, I'm David Inoue. I'm the Executive Director for the Japanese American Citizens League. And like so many of you, these past few weeks, we've all been asking, what can I do in the wake of the lynching of George Floyd or the murder of Breonna Taylor at the hands of the police? The immediate response is clearly for police reform and redesign to end the systematic oppression and killing of black lives by our supposed judicial system. What we need to recognize is that the ending of the killing of black lives is just the baseline, the bare minimum of the reform and reckoning that we must go through as a nation. And that reckoning is one that Japanese Americans are familiar with, as we forced our country to face the injustice our community faced during World War II. In fact, it was 40 years ago this year that Congress established the Commission on Wartime Incarceration and Relocation of Civilians. The findings of that commission led to the historic apology and redress payments of $20,000 to over 82,000 of Japanese Americans and Japanese who had survived the incarceration and were still living at the time. Juneteenth is a celebration of the end of slavery. But did slavery really ever end? Today we have an incarceral system that imprisons black men, women, and children. Our separate and unequal education systems reinforce the disparities of years of housing segregation. The gap in home ownership between blacks and whites, the accumulation of capital and wealth, and workplace discrimination, both overtly and through implicit bias, have blocked the advancement of all minorities, but most devastatingly to black men and even more black women. The modern day incarceration and indiscriminate killing of black people has disrupted the family unit in the same way that slaveholders would do to keep their slaves under control. It is the same way that Japanese American families were disrupted through our own incarceral experience. The story of discrimination is common throughout our nation's history, and we can see the direct parallels between our Japanese American history and that of African Americans. And that is why we, as a Japanese American community, must now speak out the loudest in support of reparations for our black brothers and sisters. In fact, the path to Japanese American redress now serves as the blueprint to achieving reparations. For over 30 years, every year since 1989, the year after redress passed, Representative John Conyers and now Representative Sheila Jackson Lee have introduced H.R. 40, legislation to create a commission to study and develop reparations proposals for African Americans. The truth of police brutality has been revealed through the witness of phone cameras. We need a similar reveal now of the structural racism that continues to permeate our society. This commission can serve as that light, exposing the true depths of the legacy of slavery and the policies that perpetuated and reinforced a separate and unequal society for the over 150 years since that first Juneteenth. It can shed light the same way our commission allowed our community to tell our story. We now need to listen to black stories of discrimination and suffering at the hands of an unjust system that has continued to perpetuate the oppression of black lives. June 19th also has a special significance for Asian Americans. It was the evening of June 19th that Vincent Chin was beaten to death in Detroit, Michigan. As a result of his murder, the Asian American community came together in solidarity with one another. It's time to work in solidarity with the black community to seek full reparations, to right yet another wrong in our country's history. I hope all Japanese Americans will join me and the Japanese American Citizens League in fighting for reparations for the African American community with the same passion that we fought for our own redress. Please go to our website, jacl.org, and sign our pledge to seek full reparations for the African American community. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you.